The Life of Hisoka Moro, Hunter x Hunter. Hisoka originally served as the primary antagonist of the Hunter exam arc and a secondary one of the Heaven's Arena arc, before becoming a supporting character during the York New City arc and Greed Island arc. During the 13th Hunter Chairman election arc, he briefly reprises his role as a secondary antagonist. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Hisoka Moro. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. Early life. Hisoka speaks little of his past because he's uninterested in it. It's revealed, however, that Hisoka joined the Phantom Troop as a false member at some point after the Kurta massacre, and about 2 years before the events in York New City after defeating the previous number 4. Around the same time, he initiated Kashro to Nen at the Heaven's Arena, sensing potential in him. He then took part in the 286th Hunter exam, during which he murdered 20 examinees. He was disqualified for almost killing an examiner during his first attempt. It's said that he named both of his techniques after a candy brand and a chewing gum brand he liked when he was a kid, implying they may have been named Texture Surprise and Bungee Gum respectively. Hunter exam arc. Hisoka, applicant number 44, is seen as a heavy contender throughout the Hunter exam. He first appears as another applicant bumps into him without apologizing. Shortly afterward, the applicant's arms are severed and removed from his body. Tonpa explains to Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio that he failed the previous year's exam after nearly killing a proctor he didn't approve of. He effortlessly keeps up with Satots when the first trial begins. When they reach the Milzy wetlands and a man-faced ape tries to pass himself off as the real examiner, Hisoka throws cards at both him and Satots, killing the monkey, whereas Satots blocks his attack, leading Hisoka to declare he's the real proctor. The incident rouses his appetite for murder, and when the fog descends, he plays examiner and attacks the surrounding applicants, among which are Kurapika and Leorio, with the intent to kill. Numerous examinees surround him, but he dispatches them without any effort, until only Cherry, Leorio, and Kurapika remain. The three split up and run away, which Hisoka judges a smart move. He begins to count down from 10, but Leorio returns to fight him. The magician easily dodges his strike, but is suddenly struck by Gon's fishing rod. He praises the boy and knocks out Leorio, and when Gon tries to intervene, lightly clutches his throat. He determines that both Leorio and Gon will make fine hunters. An examinee known as Gitarocker contacts him to lead him to the site of the second phase, and Hisoka leaves with the unconscious Leorio on his shoulder. He kills any beast that attacks him, as well as Cherry, and makes it to the location of the second trial. He shoots his bloodlust at Gon to allow him to find Leorio. At Buhara's request, he slays and cooks a great stamp. He is, however, stumped when Menchi demands to be served sushi. He fails her first test, but passes the amended one. When Satots, Menchi, and Buhara discuss the batch of examinees, Buhara picks Hisoka as his top contender and notes that he released the largest amount of negative aura during Toto's outburst. Menchi and Satots confirm that he constantly exuded bloodlust as if to provoke them. The latter also remarks that Hisoka is their equal and bears watching. Meanwhile, the magician makes a house of cards and, when he's done, knocks it down, chuckling loudly. In the third phase, Hisoka is targeted by Togari for having nearly killed him during the previous Hunter exam. Hisoka, however, catches his spinning blades and beheads him, expressing his disappointment. He's the first to pass through the Trick Tower, having taken 6 hours and 17 minutes. For the fourth phase, the remaining examinees are shipped to Zevel Island in order to take part in a week-long manhunt among themselves to capture their respective target's number plate. He's the first to disembark due to his ranking in the previous trial. Hisoka spends his first 2 days on Zevel Island in idleness. Gitarocker offers to tell him who his target is, but he declines, stating he will just take 3 random tags. His wounds attract hemotropic butterflies that feed on blood, leading his predator, Gon, to him. Hisoka fails to sense him, but detects Go is hiding nearby, who challenges him to a duel. Despite understanding his opponent is dying and that he wants to end his life as a warrior, Hisoka doesn't fight back since he's uninterested in the dead. Gitarocker then appears and finishes Go's off. Hisoka realizes he decided to honor the dying man's last request. Gitarocker hands him another examinee's number plate. When night falls, Hisoka decides to get himself 2 other tags. He spots Leorio and Kurapika, but fascinated with their resolve, he allows them to leave unharmed in exchange for a number plate. Their potential and quick development whet his bloodlust, impelling him to find someone to kill. He comes across Agon, who he immediately kills. As he does so, he has his badge stolen by Gon, who's been tailing him. While going after him, Hisoka finds and decapitates Gereta, who turns out to be his target. He praises Gon's stealth and technique and leaves him his badge. Gon refuses to accept the favor, but Hisoka blasts him with a right hook and leaves after challenging him to do the same. Having obtained the necessary number of plates, Hisoka qualifies for the final phase. Interviewed by Isaac Netero, he states he wants a hunter license to attain impunity, and that the applicants who caught his attention the most are Killua and Gon. He also declares he would prefer to fight neither of them, especially not Gon, and challenges Netero, but is casually dismissed. The final phase of the exam is an elimination tournament in which the winner of the match is removed from the candidate list and receives his very own hunter license, and the loser is given more chances. Hisoka frowns when Hanzo threatens to break Gon's arm. He laughs when the boy refuses to give up and states he would also prefer not to have his leg cut off. Hisoka's first match is against Kurapika. After tussling for a while, he whispers something to Kurapika. Then he forfeits the match. His next opponent is Botoro. It was a one-sided match, but Botoro doesn't want to surrender. Hisoka knocks him down and whispers something to him. Right after this, Botoro admits defeat and Hisoka becomes a licensed hunter. When the exam's over, he's surprised to see Gon lift Illumi in the air. He has a short conversation with Illumi about Gon and the Zoldyck family and warns Illumi not to touch Gon because the boy is his target only. Of course, he says it in like, "Don't touch Gon, he's my target." Hisoka is like the greatest dub voice ever. Heaven's Arena Arc. Hisoka follows Gon and Killua to the Heaven's Arena and with his Ren prevents the duo from entering the 200th floor until they're able to use Nen, declaring them not ready. Gon and Killua return after learning Ten from Wing. Hisoka allows both of them to pass and tells Gon that if he can win one match in the 200th floor, he might consider fighting him. He becomes excited when he sees Gon enter a state of Zetsu against Guido. A fighter at Heaven's Arena named Kastro fights Hisoka to avenge his past loss. At the beginning of the fight, Kastro seems to have the upper hand, landing some blows on Hisoka from unimaginable positions and angles, gaining a 4-0 lead. When Kastro prepares his Tiger Bite fist, Hisoka willingly gives him his left arm, but has the right one severed instead. The exchange allows him to figure out Kastro's secret, the use of a Nen double. When Kastro declares he will take Hisoka's left arm next, Hisoka remarks he may feel more eager to take the fight seriously. He then performs a series of magic tricks seemingly for no reason. After Kastro sends his double to chop off his left arm, Hisoka's right arm magically reappears. He states Kastro will dance himself to death and proceeds to tell him apart from his clone and dodge its attacks, claiming the flaw of the ability is that the clone never shows any damage, and as an enhancer, Kastro has insufficient memory for such a complex conjuration technique. As he completes the explanation, he hits Kastro in the chin using his severed left arm, then kills Kastro by stabbing him with the cards on the ground. After the fight, Hisoka pays Machi to reattach both his arms, concealing the seams with a combination of bungee gum and texture surprise. It's revealed that Hisoka pretended to be holding back against Kastro by concealing part of his aura with Ien, and that he resorted to his brutal magic tricks to prevent Kastro from figuring it out. When his right arm was severed, he connected it to the stump with bungee gum, whereas he linked the right one to Kastro's chin. He used the same ability to send the cards he previously scattered on the ground flying at Kastro, setting the technique up during another magic trick. Machi then tells him that everyone in the Phantom Troop must meet up in York New City at noon at the end of August, and that Chrollo might punish him if he skips another gathering. He invites her to spend the evening with him, but she leaves before he finishes his invitation. As he showers, he peels off the fake spider tattoo on his back, which he made from a piece of cloth using his texture surprise ability. After Gon defeats Guido and Realvelt, he declares himself willing to fight the boy. They decide to have their showdown at the Heaven's Arena on July 10th. On the day of the match, Hisoka can barely contain his excitement. He easily repels all of Gon's attacks without moving from his original position until Gon uses a flagstone as a diversion and succeeds in punching him in the face. Hisoka accepts to take his badge back. He deduces Gon as an enhancer and explains his personality-based Nen test, revealing he's a transmuter. He then begins to fight for real, surpassing Gon in both speed and strength. When Gon attempts to keep his distance, Hisoka pulls him towards himself with bungee gum and punches him hard. He offers to let Gon strike him if he can tell him when he attached bungee gum, giving him 3 options, only to reveal the correct one was a 4th one, and that Gon couldn't have prevented him from using the ability. Realizing he can't escape, Gon charges at him. Hisoka is so delighted by his initiative, he has a hard time preventing himself from killing him, letting himself be beaten up by Gon until he regains his composure. While Gon complains to the judge, he attaches the strand of aura on Gon's cheek to a rock and tricks him into being hit, winning the match. He then leaves after telling Gon that the next time they fight, it will be to the death. York New City Arc. On August 31st, Hisoka meets the other members of the Phantom Troop in an abandoned building in York New City, where their leader gives the order to rob the mafia community of the underground auction items. On the night of September 1st, he listens intently to Chrollo's conversation on the phone with Uvogin about a traitor and leaves the hideout to meet up with Kurapika. He texts him to meet as arranged, and when they do, tells Kurapika what he knows about the Phantom Troop, that he joined the troop only to fight Chrollo, and that they should team up because they share a common interest. He offers Kurapika information about the abilities of 7 spiders in return. Before giving his reply, Kurapika inquires about the Scarlet Eyes, which Hisoka reckons have already been sold. Alerted by Melody that Uvogin escaped, Kurapika leaves after stating he will give his answer the following day at the same time. The next day, he has an unexpected meeting with Gon and Killua after the two were captured and brought to the troop's hideout. They pretend not to know each other, and Hisoka seemingly notices Killua realizes the chain dude is none other than Kurapika. Despite his liking for Gon, he can't do anything to help them, and even threatens to slit Killua's throat with a card if the boy makes any move without permission. Since Nobunaga is busy watching Gon and Killua, Machi is forced to pair up with Hisoka. That night, he receives the order to create a commotion before stealing the auction loot. However, he only stands on the top of a building admiring the massacre. He later lights Bean's cigarette instantly before Machi kills him. Like the other spiders, he passes himself off as auction staff and hides from Kurapika when the latter comes to retrieve the fake Scarlet Eyes. Upon returning to the hideout with the loot, he wants to tell Kurapika that the corpses of several troops members left behind are fake. On September 4th, Chrollo announces his intention to leave York New City. When Nobunaga protests, he uses the lovely Ghostwriter ability he stole from Neon on him and Shizuku, learning that tangling with the chain dude will lead to the death of 5 other members. Hisoka sends a message to Kurapika telling him about the fake corpses as part of his plan to force the spiders to remain in York New City so he can fight Chrollo. The troop leader then writes fortunes for nearly all members, including Hisoka. The magician's prophecy exposes his treachery and promises he would fight Chrollo the following Tuesday, by which time half the spiders would be dead. When Pakunoda insists on reading it, he alters it with texture surprise, implying that he will die if he leaves the hideout. The spiders initially interpret his forged fortune as a sign of his betrayal, but when Nobunaga is about to clash with him, Chrollo falls into Hisoka's trap and suggests that the chain dude is forcing him to cooperate. His manipulation is successful and Chrollo decides to remain in the city. He's partnered up with Franklin and Bonolanov, and left at the hideout while half the other members set out to kill the chain dude. When he learns Chrollo has been captured by Kurapika, he hires Illumi to disguise as himself and act as his double in the troop's hideout so that he can leave and fight Chrollo alone. The two switch places while Kaluto distracts Franklin and Bonolanov. He tails Pakunoda to Lincoln Airport, threatening to kill Gon and Killua if Kurapika doesn't allow him to get on the blimp. When the hostage exchange terminates, he reveals to Chrollo his fake membership status and challenges him to a duel, but to his great disappointment, Chrollo can no longer use Nen. Hisoka spares his life and leaves, telling Pakunoda that he's never been attracted to broken toys and that the present already differs from the contents of his future. He walks away without returning to the hideout. Greed Island Arc. Hisoka heads to Greed Island in search of an exorcist for Chrollo. He uses Chrollo's name to enter the game to send a signal to any spiders who would enter the game. He hangs around the spell card shop in Masadora, reckoning that's where he'll be able to meet the greatest number of players. Gon comes close enough to him that he shows up on his contact list, and the same occurs with Shizuku, Franklin, Shalnark, and Finks. He approaches them to reveal his identity and offer to take the exorcist to Chrollo once they find one. While Gon, Killua, Bisky, and Gorainu look to beat Razor and his pirates, Gon insists on finding out who the Chrollo in his binder is. They fly to him as he bathes in a lake. Sensing the two boys have improved, he determines Bisky to be their teacher. He tells them he came to the island to find Chrollo, as he fears they would try to stop him if he revealed he was looking for an exorcist. At Bisky's request, he accepts to play against Razor's group. Hisoka pretends not to know what spells are and takes the group to the nearby Ai, where he spends his free time to find other players. However, the romantic cliches prove to be too distracting. Killua begins to suspect that Hisoka has met other members of the Phantom Troop on the island and is hiding it from everyone. When Gon asks him to check his contacts to know if he's met a Tezagera, Hisoka conceals the names of the spiders with texture surprise. He contacts the Single Star Hunter for the group. They form an alliance and Hisoka volunteers to play soccer juggling on account of his bungee gum. After 1 week, they head to Sofrabi. The group wins 3 games, after which Razor challenges the remaining players to a dodgeball match. When Razor kills a rebellious Bopopo, Hisoka reveals to his team the game has taken place in real life. Shortly after the start of the game, Gon gives Hisoka the ball so he can throw it and retrieve it with bungee gum. He eliminates one of Razor's devils, but Razor combines 2 of them to prevent him from getting the ball back. He narrowly escapes a shoot ball thrown by Razor, which is then intercepted by one of his demons. Hisoka catches its throw with the aid of bungee gum at the cost of breaking 2 fingers. Hisoka admires Goen's rock ecstatically. When Razor manages to deflect his throw, Hisoka snatches the ball with bungee gum, forcing him to use up his freebie. To retrieve the ball from Razor, Goen, Hisoka, and Killua create a 3-person formation where Hisoka is in charge of preventing the ball from bouncing off after Goen catches it. They succeed, and Goen shoots the ball with his last, most powerful rock. Razor bumps it back at him, but Goen passes out from exhaustion, so the ball misses him. Hisoka catches and throws it back with bungee gum, sticking it to Razor's hand so he can't deflect it again, at the cost of 10 broken fingers. Razor is pushed out of bounds, resulting in the team's victory. Hisoka leaves them, and his parting words cause Killua to realize he was indeed lying. Finks takes Hisoka where the other spiders and the exorcist are so he can negotiate with the latter. He inquires how the troupe managed to find him, and when they refuse to answer, he wonders if it could be the work of the person hiding behind a tree nearby, and threatens to vent his arousal against them if they don't come out. Kaluto, Hisoka's replacement in the gang, walks out and Hisoka expresses his approval of him. He then asks Machi who between him and Chrollo she'd rather survived, and what she will do if he kills Chrollo, to which Machi says she would hunt him down and kill him. He smiles and states he would like it. A few weeks later, he leaves the island with Abengane after the latter has successfully deactivated Genthru's countdown. 13th Hunter Chairman Election Arc. Hisoka is next seen during the first round of the 13th Hunter Chairman election looking for Jin. He secretly rates the hunters on the scene using a scale of his own and is apparently quite happy with the power of some members of the Zodiacs. Kanzai, Ginta, and Pion. He then casts a blank vote after showing it to them, which annoys Kanzai. After that, he sits there scouting out the crowd. While sizing up the pro-hunters present at the election site, Hisoka is disappointed by their power levels and thinks to himself that if they're this weak, he might consider fighting the Zodiacs next. Suddenly, he feels the presence of someone strong, who turns out to be Illumi. Illumi then tells Hisoka about what happened during the Chimera Ant crisis, the death of Chairman Netero, Aloka, his younger sister, and the current situation with Goen and Killua. Also, again, Aloka, the reason why we're using sister is because that's how they identify. Even though I know Illumi calls Aloka brother. Hisoka and Illumi are next seen talking to each other in an airship bar. Illumi explains the rules related to Aloka's ability to him and tells him if Killua dies from Aloka's power while trying to heal Goen, a lot of people, including the Zoldycks, Goen, and even Hisoka, will die as well. Fearing that Killua will do it wrong, Illumi asks Hisoka to help him kill Aloka. Later, as Killua, Aloka, and their butlers are on their way to Goen's hospital, Illumi manipulates some drivers and crashes their vehicle into Killua's car, causing it to fall into the forest below. Watching from a distance, Illumi tells Hisoka to eliminate the butlers, but Hisoka asks if he can kill Killua. Kill Killua. Illumi suddenly releases a murderous aura and warns him. Hisoka says he's just kidding. It's then revealed that he provoked Illumi on purpose to let Killua know his location because he too wants Goen to be saved. He then confronts Goto, Amane, and Canary, who are left behind after Killua uses his Godspeed ability to escape with Aloka. Goto tells the other butlers to go ahead and let him deal with Hisoka. At first, his bungee gum ability seems to be neutralized by Goto's ability to fire coins with power superior to bullets, but Hisoka manages to adapt quickly and uses his bungee gum to fire the coins back, forcing him to shoot more coins to deflect them. With that distraction, Hisoka is able to drop in on him and slit his throat. Hisoka and Illumi arrive at Parasta Airport, where Killua used an airship as transportation and as an escape. Hisoka suggests that they should ambush Killua in the hospital, but Illumi claims the assassination will fail if they do so because Killua's friends are there. Illumi thinks of asking for help, prompting Hisoka to ask if he has any other acquaintances. Illumi instead reveals an ability to manipulate a person's actions through a nen-imbued needle. Illumi asks Hisoka if he could hunt the misses for him, and Hisoka gladly accepts. Hisoka and Illumi talk over the phone after killing their attackers. Hisoka informs Illumi that he has found a map detailing the aircraft's paths and destinations. He offers to send Illumi a copy, albeit one that's altered by texture surprise. Unfortunately, Illumi says that he also has a map from one of the attackers and that he already knows which aircraft Killua and Aloka are in. Although he's shown to be Illumi's comrade, his bloodlust seems to be getting the better of him. This is shown when Illumi finds Killua. Hisoka is seen hiding in the trees trying to decide who to kill. If he kills Aloka, he gains Killua's hatred, but if he leaves Aloka alive to save Goen, he makes Illumi his enemy. He then questions himself by asking the same question if he should kill Aloka and make Killua hate him, or kill Killua and have Illumi hate him. Hisoka is next seen exiting an elevator and going into the room where Teradyne Neutral is staying. Hisoka then kills him. Succession Contest Arc. Chrollo finally accepts to fight Hisoka in a deathmatch at Heaven's Arena. As soon as the fight begins, Chrollo activates Shalnark's ability and takes control of the referee, using him to attack Hisoka while the latter reckons, preparing to stick the second antenna in him. However, the second antenna was a feint and Chrollo kicks down Hisoka, and then proceeds to stomp on him. Hisoka frees himself by hurling the referee at him. Chrollo then commands the referee to attack Hisoka again, but explodes before the two can make contact thanks to a new ability stolen by Chrollo, who is now also capable of using two abilities at the same time or one without needing to touch his book. Hisoka gets more and more excited as the fight progresses, but feels Chrollo still holding back. The two then briefly discuss the latter's new abilities, with Hisoka rejoicing due to his opponent's power. Chrollo combines two abilities, Order Stamp and Kortopi's Gallery Fake, to attack Hisoka with a copy of the referee. However, thanks to Chrollo's explanation, which is why people should stop explaining their attacks, Hisoka easily deactivates Order Stamp by beheading the puppet. Chrollo finally shows the last ability he's prepared, Covert Hands. Much to Hisoka's annoyance, before the two can trade blows again, Chrollo reveals that one of his abilities belongs to someone who's already dead. Hisoka instantly realizes it's because the user's Nen has become stronger after his death and improves his guard. When he learns that, thanks to the creator's resolve, once affixed, the marks of the sun and moon will never disappear unless they explode. Hisoka smiles, thinking that could indeed prove problematic. Despite Chrollo claiming that his victory is certain, Hisoka is willing to keep fighting and attacks him. The two end up in the audience, which Chrollo manipulates with Black Voice to attack Hisoka while disguising himself with Covert Hands. Hisoka notices the antennae have disappeared and that Chrollo has already created multiple copies with Gallery Fake. Then, around 30 copies controlled with Order Stamp start attacking him, forcing him to use Bungee Gum to retreat, but the puppets climb on top of each other to reach him. As he retaliates, Chrollo, having stolen someone else's clothes, maneuvers behind Hisoka, who prepares to counter, but is tricked by the opponent's feint and is kicked in the nape. As he falls into the crowd of puppets, Hisoka is ecstatic. Struggling not to be overwhelmed, Hisoka begins dispatching the puppets, all the while taking damage from Chrollo's hit-and-run tactic. He manages to anticipate the latter's next move, flinging a severed head at him, but Chrollo dodges and kicks Hisoka, claiming he had seen him prepare the attack. However, Hisoka manages to hit him with a second projectile attached to his foot, replying he knows, while coughing up blood. He lands one more hit with the other head, forcing Chrollo to retreat. Unable to give chase, Hisoka disables more puppets and tries to figure out Chrollo's next move, basing on whether Order Stamp and Gallery Fake are deactivated. When the stamp disappears from the head of the puppet, Hisoka manages to track down Chrollo in the audience, immobilizing him with Bungee Gum. However, he notices something's off and swiftly attacks him with the head. It's revealed the one he killed was a spectator Chrollo had been controlling with Black Voice and to whom he had been given his appearance with Covert Hands. However, as Gallery Fake is still active, Hisoka realizes that the copies on which the sun and moon had been affixed will not disappear, even if Chrollo is using other abilities. He moves back to the center of the arena, guessing Chrollo will have to launch an assault with all of his puppets lest they are mistaken for injured spectators by the rescue personnel. In fact, Chrollo steals the announcer's microphone and orders to break Hisoka, causing all of the puppets with the stamp to rush at Hisoka, who proceeds to destroy them using the head as a projectile and by attaching Bungee Gum to multiple puppets and using them as a hammer. Suddenly, however, the head he was gripping explodes in his hand, heavily injuring it and obliterating 4 of his fingers. Hisoka understands how Chrollo managed to make the head explode and quickly decapitates another puppet. Using Bungee Gum through his legs, he starts walking on the sides of a stand, destroying more puppets from that position before running away. However, he finds multiple explosive puppets waiting for him. Although he survives the explosion, he's blasted in the air towards another stand filled with Chrollo's explosive puppets. The loss of a leg prevents him from escaping to the ceiling, but before he can project Bungee Gum from his other leg, Chrollo throws 2 spectators at him, causing him to fall back into the ring. As the puppets prepare to attack him, Hisoka prepares for his death and is soon engulfed in an explosion. The next time Hisoka is seen, he's by all means dead, presented before Kortopi, Shalnark, and Machi. His face is extremely disfigured by the explosion, with one of the 3 wondering why he didn't suffer more damage. Shalnark explains that he used a large portion of the puppets as a meat shield, so to speak, protecting him from the bulk of the explosion, but ultimately causing him to die from suffocation. Shalnark and Kortopi leave after Machi says that she'll stay to tend to his wounds. Closing his eyes before attempting to stitch up his neck, Machi is shocked to see his aura re-emerge from his body. She mistakenly believes this to be his Nen, preserving after his death before it's revealed that he used Bungee Gum to restart his heart and lungs after his demise. Wow, holy sh**. Hisoka's crazy. Greeting her rather cheerfully after coming back to life, she confirms that he was indeed dead for some time, after which Hisoka admits that fighting someone of Chrollo's league and hundreds of Nen puppets at the same time was more than he could chew, referring to the experience as a wake-up call as a result. He then proceeds to mend and hide his wounds while simultaneously replacing his missing arm and leg using bungee gum and texture surprise. After saying that his next opponents won't have a choice in where and who they fight, he restrains Machi using bungee gum before he leaves, telling her that he shall kill all members of the Phantom Troop. Struggling to get out, she shouts and swears at Hisoka, saying she'll kill him herself before Hisoka makes his exit. Shalnark had just come off of the phone with Chrollo, discussing plans to board the Kakin Empire royal family's ship and steal their valuables. While Shalnark is wondering what's taking Kortopi so long in the bathroom, Hisoka walks out instead. Shocked, Shalnark runs towards him before Hisoka throws Kortopi's severed head at him. After catching it, Shalnark cries out in shock before Hisoka lands an extremely powerful attack to his head, killing him. Shalnark's mangled body is then seen tied to his swing with Kortopi's severed head in front of him and crows gathering around their corpses. By the time Machi reaches Chrollo in the market inside the Black Whale, she confirms that Hisoka had made his way into the Black Whale to kill the rest of the troop members. Chrollo orders the first come first serve rule to make it fair for the rest of the troop members to kill him. Hisoka is crazy, and he's awesome. But did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Adrian out.